Whoa, they don't know. I can tell them where to go. I can even tell them what I know. I can tell them I done did this stuff before. Woo, I can tell them.
Yo, what is going on, my people? You are rocking with the No Compromise crew. I am Dave, aka Daffody, aka Graph, aka G1. David is my original name, just in case. But we have another great topic, y'all, that we are continuing to build on, that we feel like it is just definitely something that weighs heavy on at least every Black man's heart, on a lot of people's hearts, but especially the Black man. But we all have our own, I guess, experiences with the police. My question is to you guys, do you feel like the police was here to serve and protect? Is the police here serve and protect in your mind?
No, I think no, not like not the African American community, not the low income community, because there's a difference between the way they police African American communities than the way they police in the suburbs. Because the same amount of crimes go on in the suburbs. People are on drugs, right. People are addicted to different things, but you don't see them kicking down doors. You don't see them stopping people in the suburbs. They only do it in the inner city.
Right. What you think, Cora?
Are police there to protect and serve? I'm gonna say yes, but, and there's a but attached to that, all right? Now, you remember the last conversation we had when I went into how the U.S. is a business, right?
Right, that's correct.
So when you use the term protect and serve, you need to think about what they're protecting and serving, because it's not human beings. Let's go into the prison system. All right. When you're arrested, when you're being detained or whatever the case may be, all right, you are at that point an asset to the U.S. So, all right, I'm gonna flip it to like this. If I owe you money, I'm then indebted to you in some way, shape, or form. All right. In the eyes of the U.S. government, if I go and kill someone, I'm costing them money. So they're not looking at it as a human life. They're looking at it as, no, you're taking money out of my pocket. So now I'm going to need you to pay that back. So how they're going to do that? You're going to jail. You're going to work off what you owe. So when you say protect and serve, no, you're not protecting and serving people. You're protecting and serving your assets. That's what I got for now.
Wow. So, I mean, so it's that was heavy, because that's what they have on that's what they have on the side of their cars. Isn't that what they tell us all, that they're here to serve and protect? They're here for the community. And I think Black people get confused, and we have a misconception, because when they say serve and protect, they wasn't talking about us. It wasn't talking about serving and protecting us. It was talking about serving the slave owners and protecting, like Corey just said, their assets, protecting their investment, their interests. It's capitalism. So that's what my take is. I don't think that they were ever really here to serve and protect us. They were here to serve and protect other whites from us because of the revolts and the insurrections that we were putting up, the resistance that we were putting up against them. trying to gain our freedom. Is there such thing as good cops and bad cops?
I think, I think there are some good, genuinely good cops who want to make a difference, but then you got those bad cops that would overshadow anything that a good cop would do. Just like you have in this day and age, you have the media, you get me, and then you have people that call themselves news, but all they do is push out conspiracy theories.
Right.
And then at the end of the day, people don't know which information, who to listen to, or which information is accurate and which is not. And I think that is the same with every profession.
Right.
Times we can look at, I don't know, but some people might look at a brother walking down the street, pants sagging, and say, "Oh, he's a hoodlum, he's a gangster." He might be the most respectful person in the world, but because his pants sagging, he's lumped in the category with everybody else. So I think it's like a perception that the bad cops have more of a perception than the good one. The good one won't put out the good stuff that they do out there if you're not seeing it. But then you got the ones that will, shoot someone 41 times in the back. You got the ones that shoot someone 7 times in the back and the guy is walking away from them. So it's like there are certain images out there that are just, that will overpower the good that some cops do, so I'm not gonna lump them all in the same category, but I think that the good ones have to speak up when they see the bad ones doing something.
That's a fact.
They have to call them out. And if you don't have the balls to call them out, then you're just in the same basket with all of them.
Why they don't call them out though? Why won't they do it?
Fear, like we had a brother in the Bronx, right? That was a police officer, and because he's willing to speak out, they will put him in the subway, and they will put him in to do other things that no other cop wanted to do.
Right.
So they have a way of just making you do what every other cop don't want to do, so that you don't have to speak up. If you don't see them doing it, then you don't have to talk to them about it, or you don't have to snitch on them about it, Right. So I think that's how they deal with, people, honest cops that are willing to call them out on their stuff. Like, okay, well, since you want to be snitching, we gonna just put you over there where nobody will see you and where you won't be able to talk to anybody. Right. and that will be it, So, yeah.
Right. What you think, Corey? Yo, Nux, what's going on, brother?
Hey, what's going on, fellas? What's going on with y'all? What's the question? What I missed?
Nah, they was just answering a good cop, bad cop. Good cop, bad cop talk before we actually get on to the next question. They didn't get a chance to answer it from the last discussion. I know they had a lot to say about it because I've heard them talk about this before. So, Yeah,
do your thing.
But Cole, what you think, Cole? Any good cops, bad cops? Is there such thing?
I mean, there's definitely a such thing as good cops and bad cops. But I mean, like he was saying, one bad apple spoils the bunch. So you got to look at it in this aspect. When you start a new job, your first 90 days or whatever the case may be, you're doing nothing but wanting to impress and put your best foot forward and put nothing but positive energy into the air. But eventually, you run into that associate who's always, and we've all seen it and heard it, the one associate or person you're working with is like, oh man, fuck this job and this and that. And those are the bad cops that you need to be careful of, because those are the ones who negatively influence the positive ones. So that's where I say one bad apple spoils the bunch. If you have multiple bad apples, then I mean, eventually, if you're hearing something over and over, you're gonna start believing it. You know. So as far as like you're saying, why don't they speak out against them? All right. So cops have a policy called, what is it, like the blue line or blue wall or something like that, where they don't go against the bad, right? All right. In that same respect, you have doctors who have the doctor-patient confidentiality clause, right? Right. In the Navy and in the Army, they have this same thing. But yet, when you get arrested, the first thing they tell you to do is what? Snitch.
Right.
So how is it that you want me to incriminate myself or give you probable cause? And I don't know whether you're a good or a bad cop, but you're not willing to put forth the effort to say like, hey, you know, maybe we need to relook this. That's all I got for now.
Let me ask you this. So George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Tamir Rice, we can even Trayvon Martin. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a cop who killed him, but it was a wannabe. But back in the days, they would call him a night watcher. That's what police were before they were actually called the police. Then you have Amadou Diallo, Mike Brown, like we can go on. And most recently, Dante Wright. So many Black people have been killed and brutally beaten and killed at the hands of police. But yet, we're always told to keep the peace, and we're always told to stay calm and protest peacefully. And it's a whole code that we have to go through just to try to survive that encounter with police. Is there a way for Black people to avoid fatal confrontation with the police?
I'm just gonna say no, because I mean, we've seen, you know, walking away from the cops, putting your hands up in the air, flagging the cops down for help, being in your home, sleep, being in your backyard, walking to the store. I mean, the list goes on and on. No matter what you do, at the end of the day, it all depends on that cop's attitude that day.
Right.
Hey, look, we come across as if we being dramatic, but at the end of the day, it's a luck of the draw. You know, anytime you get an opportunity, well, I'm not going to use opportunity, but anytime you get in front of the authorities, who knows how it can go. Like me, I play slave when I'm confronted by the cops, right? And I think that'll work, and it has worked for me a few times, right? But at the end of the day, you got to remember, and this is with any human being, right? When you come across as a doormat, that's just how they'll treat you, you know? And there's plenty of times I've dealt with cops and went home and like, oh my God, like I feel like less of a man, you know?
What's one of those times? What's one of those times when you felt like that?
Most of the time. Most of the time. Like because, you know, they tell you to comply, right? And I comply, like, in every way. You know what I'm saying? Every way. Step out the car. Even though I know I'm not supposed to step out the car, I do it anyway. Put your hands behind your back. Do this. Do that. I'm doing everything they ask me. I know half of the things they're telling me is against the law. Like it's you know, it's beyond my rights, right? And I still do it. But they always got to go the extra mile and tell me to do something that I know I'm not supposed to. Sit on the curb. do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Like, can I leave the situation feeling like an adult? You know what I'm saying? Feeling like a man.
Right.
A woman, and he's like, I can't even look at her because I feel like less than, you know? So, no, there's nothing we can do at the end of the day. Nothing we can do.
Yeah. I think for me, I've been in a few situations. So it depends on, for me, it depends on the cop and I guess how they're feeling that day. Because one time I was driving with a police officer pulled me over and said that I was driving with a broken tail light. So he wrote me a ticket, but he was like, yo, go get it fixed, come to the precinct with the ticket, and I will cancel the ticket. So I did that. But then like a year later, I got pulled over by another police officer. He said that I had 2 broken tail lights. So I'm expecting a ticket. He's like, oh, let me see license and registration. So I give him license and registration. And he comes back and he said everything checks out. But he wasn't driving the paddy wagon. And so when he said everything checks out, he makes eye contact with the rest of the police officers in the paddy wagon. And they now, about 7 of them start banging on the passenger side of the car. Like, get out the car now. I was like, I don't know what's going on. So I get out the car and he's like, we need to search your car. I'm like, no, you don't. You need a search warrant. I got out my car, but you need a search warrant to search my car because I paid money for that. So that's my possession. You know, he didn't like that. And he was angry. He was like, yo, if you don't let us search your car, we're taking you to the precinct. I was like, take me to the precinct. I did not commit a crime. I got 2 broken tail lights. All you had to do is write me a ticket. And that's it. I'll go out of my way, you know? And we did it for about 30 minutes with them trying to get into the car and stuff. I was like, no, you can't get into the car. Then they ended up searching me. I was like, okay, whatever, you know? And then eventually he was like, you may go. I was like, okay. So I drove off. But I'm like, you know, it's a simple ticket. You know, write me a ticket. I'll get it fixed. I'll pay the ticket. It don't matter how much the ticket is, but that's all you needed to do. You didn't have to have, you know, your whole group knocking on my door, you know, with their hands on their guns and stuff. I didn't commit any crime. Right. You know, so it just depends. You know, they have a bad day. They might want to take it out on you. They need to meet a quota. They might want to look for someone who, you know, they can pull over that has some type of criminal record. Now they meet their quota. They probably get paid overtime or whatever for that. You know, so it depends on what is the motivation with the stop and everything else, you know, so.
Got you.
Yeah.
It's a hopeless feeling, man. I mean, I know it's probably an expired feeling, but it's a hopeless feeling of running to the authorities, and the authorities is the one that's doing the harm. You know, like who do you run to at that point? You know, that's like being in school because being bullied, and you run to the principal, and the principal starts to bully you too. You know, like who do you run to at that point? You know what I'm saying?
But my thing, all right, so your course. So why is it that, like Chuck said, that a lot of the times it depends on what type of day they're having, what type of day the police are having. We all have bad days. Why is it that when they have a bad day, or if they are a part of the racism, the systemic racism that was rooted here in America, why is it that when they have a bad day, they get a chance to go out and kill and they get sent home, and but we're told to just chill. If you survive it, just live your life peacefully, while they get to go out and take our lives.
So with that, I kind of feel like, how do I put this? Like, they know that Black people are a threat. All right. I don't mean like just in terms of anything like that. Like, we are number one in creating creativity. We can make anything from nothing. All right. Refrigerator, light bulb. I mean, I can go on. Cotton,
Right.
indigo. All right. So it's not a supremacy factor. It's an inferiority complex. Like, I know that no matter what I do, I won't be as creative as you. Or I can't even to flip this. I can't go outside without sunscreen on. All right. But it's like you test your limits to see how far you can go. So every so often, but all right, well, this ain't going on. They ain't do nothing right here. All right, we're gonna push them a little bit further. All right, nothing happened. They didn't do anything. All right, we're gonna go a little bit further. All right, you know, just trying to test the limits. I mean, if you think about it, we have seen more police shootings and killings in the past 15 years than
Right.
have been in the past 100. It's to the point where now you're kind of numb to it all, because now it's like, all right, well, another one bites the dust. I mean, I hate to say it like that, but
Right.
you don't know how to take it.
I'm sorry, man. So basically, I think they have so much protection from the police union.
Yeah.
It's like,
man. Yeah.
it's like you know, there's really like this lady that shot, you know,
Dante Wright.
Yeah. She was gonna resign, because if she resigns, then she can get her pension. You get me? So
Right.
they resign and they still get their pension.
Hmm.
You know, they kill a Black man, they stay on the force or whatever, they probably get reassigned or they probably get suspended. Suspension with pay. You know, they're reassigned to desk work. You know, and for me, I'm like, why can't we break the backs of the union? Why are the unions so powerful? You know,
Right.
you know, so if you feel like you can kill someone with impunity and get away with it because you're a member of the police union or you got that protection, then there's really nothing. You just walk out there like you're larger than life. You know, like, hey, I might be good today, I might be bad tomorrow, but it's okay. It'll just be another complaint on my record. I'm not gonna get fired anyways.
Right.
Before I get fired, I'll probably resign and get my pension. You know, so so there's really nothing that we can say a law out there to hold police officers accountable. You know, so for me, that's really what it is. I think we gotta, you know, we have to go after the union, because the unions are so powerful right now.
Right.
You know, people started talking about defund the police, and then Donald Trump made it into a thing, and all the police unions supported Donald Trump. And then when these people went to the Capitol and attacked the Capitol, you never heard anything from the police union. Even though it was the police officers that were attacked and hurt, no police union spoke up after that. You know, so I'm like, what's going on here? What is the double standard? You know, Black people can't protest because a Black man was killed, or, you know, because a Black man had his life, you know, squeezed out of him in broad daylight in front of cameras. But then, you know, people attacked the U.S. Capitol because of, the lie of a stolen election because black people voted for the Democrats. We're not talking about the white voters. We're talking about the black voters that put Biden in office. They stole the election. And so all the white people are upset. And they attacked the Capitol. And nobody, I'm like, those people got up and walked home. They left the Capitol and walked home. They're still looking for most of them. I'm like, with this protest over there in Minnesota, the first night of protest, they called the National Guard. What happened? Why wasn't the National Guards there? So for me, I got mixed feelings about everything going on right now in the country. I feel like, we're not worth anything. We're not worth the dime, and, it's like, you got one group of people who wants to pass laws, and then you got another group of people who are saying, oh, why should we care so much about black people and what they think? Because that's what I see. Like, I watch Fox News. I'm like, they're calling, they called Mike Brown young angry black man. Right. I'm like, what are you doing? He wasn't. Anybody can have a bad day, but that doesn't mean a police officer should shoot him multiple times and kill him in broad daylight. Doesn't make any sense, So yeah.
Wow, and the thing is with Mike Brown, the cop that killed him, I forgot his name, but he wasn't in the confrontation long enough to even know how Mike Brown was. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy for them to call him.
He was down the block.
Yeah, it's crazy for them to just.
So you shoot him from down the block, before he can even get to you. That does not make any sense.
So is there a way for anybody watching, right? Is there a way for us to at least, what advice would you give someone that is pulled over by the cops? What should they do? What shouldn't they do?
So for me, right, when I get pulled over by the police, I turn off the engine and I put my two hands on the steering wheel. So they'll see I don't have a weapon or whatever, But that's the thing. You don't know who you're dealing with.
Right.
That can't even save your life. George Floyd, he didn't have a weapon. In handcuffs, they still choked the life out of him. And this Dante Wright, he got out of the car. He complied with everything. He just got back in the car. Let him ride home. Go arrest him at home or whatever.
Right.
You already have his address. You already have his license number. Why can't they just think? Oh, he think he's getting away. I'm gonna be at his home before he even gets home.
Hey, look. So I have a client that's a former cop, and I was talking to him a little bit today, and I kind of asked him that question that you just asked, G. What do you do when a cop pulls you over? And he said, it's this simple. I can't tell you that it'll go your way, but I can tell you to do this. He said, turn off your engine, take your keys, put it on top of the hood. Put your hands back in your car and keep it on your steering wheel. He said that's a unspoken language to the cops that are showing mercy. You're not gonna give them a hard time and you complying. So that's what he told me today. So that's me passing it on to you guys. Yeah. Turn off your car. A lot of us got push starts. But take that little piece, put it on top of the hood, put your hands back in your car, and put it on the steering wheel. That's how you supposed to make it.
I'm gonna say comply as best as you can, but protect yourself. Because at the end of the day, like these guys are saying, you don't know who you're dealing with. All right, just a quick story. This is 3 weeks ago. All right. So I'm going to my mother's house, and to go to my mother's house, I have to pass by the courthouse. All right. So my wife's truck, her registration was up in March. It was March. All right. Cop gets behind me and was like, threw on his flashes. I knew what it was. Turned the car off. Put my hands on the steering wheel. Okay. Comes up to the car and was like, son, do you know why I pulled you over?
He called you son?
First thing I said was, I'm not your son. His response was, well, somebody has an attitude. I said, no, sir, I don't have an attitude, but I'm not your son. All right, now this is, once again, I'm saying you don't know who you're dealing with.
Right.
I read him just off of that one sentence. All right. He goes, all right, I need your license and registration. I was like, can you tell me why I'm being pulled over? Well, I'm pulling you over because your registration is almost up. What I just said. I'm pulling you over because your registration is almost up. I said, well, what do you mean by that? Well, it says 3/21. I said, it's March. Okay, it says 3/21. I said, it's March. So he gets an attitude, takes my license registration, goes back to his car. Is at his car for 15 minutes. Comes back and was like, do you have any weapons in the car? Never gives me back my license and registration. I've been out here for 15 minutes, all right? Do you have any weapons in the car? No, I do not. Do you mind if I search your car?
What?
Do you mind if I search your car? I said, I don't consent to a check with, I don't consent to my vehicle being searched without a warrant. At that point, now I've been out there 15 minutes already. Never gave me back my license registration. Goes back to his car. Okay? Never gave me back my license registration. Comes back 15 minutes after that. So now I've been out there for 30 minutes on the side of the road in a hot car. All right? Now, I have in my car a computer that lets me check codes for vehicles and stuff. So he comes back to the window, gives me my license registration, and was like, what is that in your cup holder? What is what in my cup holder? He said, what is that? Is that a breathalyzer? A breathalyzer. Now, Dave, you've seen that little computer I have.
Right.
Now, I wasn't trying to be a smart ass or anything, but the sheer stupidity blew me. So I was like, no, it's not a breathalyzer. He was like, well, do you mind if I look at it? I was like, where would I blow? At that point, he gets an attitude and walks off. So, I mean, I'm just saying all of that to say, you don't know who you're dealing with or what mentality they're going to be in that day. Now, I got home, I got to my mother's and I told her about the situation, and she said I should have got his his badge number and a card or whatever. But the way I feel is he wouldn't have gave it to me anyway, and it would have been, it probably would have escalated even further than that. So yeah, comply as best you can, but protect yourself.
Right.
Like
Right.
you would have got his badge number and told who. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like how many cops we seen after they shot people, they have like a huge record of complaints and prior shootings or prior situations where they were maybe racist or doing something that they weren't supposed to do. Like, who cares? That does nothing. Like, you're telling on the authorities, to the authorities. Like who do you run to?
Right.
Who do you run to? So it's a waste of time.
Right. I mean, for For me, yo, I've had a lot of run-in with the cops, just like every other black man in America. So when they do pull me over, let me get this. Here's my wallet. And then you can reach for it. I get it, give it to them. Keep looking ahead. They ask me, what's my name, what's my birthday? I tell them my name, my birthday. I keep looking ahead. I don't talk. You know what I'm saying? I don't tell them that I know my rights. And because one thing that these racist police officers, and believe racist police officers don't have to be only white. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of Spanish, there's a lot of Asian, there's a lot of Middle Eastern, and definitely black, dressed up as their color, but white on the inside. Remember, policemen started off protecting the interests of the white man. So, I mean, at that point, bro, I don't speak a lot. I give them what they need, and I just stay calm. I don't, like I said, I don't scream out that I got my rights. I don't tell them if I got a weapon in the car. I don't do none of that. You know what I'm saying? If they didn't ask, I ain't saying nothing. And that's what you got to go by. Go by the code, y'all. Like, as black men, especially black men, I mean, because they do the same with our black women. But as black men, try to get back home to your family. Don't try to get smart with them, because at the end of the day, even if you do win the physical war, you pull out, if they try to harm you and you have a weapon and you harm them, you still gonna have SWAT team, all of that. They're gonna come and see you later. So the best thing to do for me, speakers, keep your speech, keep it very minimal. Don't look them into the eye until they actually look them in the eye. You know what I'm saying? More than likely, they want to talk about if you're drunk or high or whatever. But more than likely, look straight ahead. Don't speak as much. Give them what you need to give them. Keep calm and make it back home. Don't worry about your dignity at that point, because you're trying to stay alive. Remember, as black people, we are masters at knowing how to survive, because we've done it for more than 800 years. So we know how to survive. Survive and get back home. If you ain't got family, you getting back home to your own self. Get back home to your Xbox, whatever the case may be. Get back home. You know what I'm saying? Leave the pride, leave all your intelligence, because we know they don't like intelligent black people. Don't tell them your rights, and you just, the Civil Rights Act they passed in 1964. Don't tell them your father used to, march with Martin Luther King. Don't tell them none of that. Just give it to them and go. You know what I'm saying? It's not that easy. Again, you don't know. You can be doing all of that stuff and still get killed. They probably won't shoot you, but they'll strangle you to death. They'll do something. So the best thing I would say, just hope to God in that moment. Stay calm. Don't speak as much. Don't show them how smart you are. Not at that point. It ain't about that. You can fight that in court. Right now, fight for your life. That's what I would say.
Hey, you said it yesterday. I said, treat cops like criminals. Treat them like criminals. When you, I don't know who's ever been mugged before, but if you ever was mugged before, you don't tell your mugger about your rights, right? No, just give them what they're asking for. You can get back out of that moment. Same thing with the cop. Give them what they're asking for, and get the heck out of that moment. That simple.
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you guys this lastly. Like, do you feel that? So can unity be achieved between the black community and police? Is that possible?
I don't know if it's possible, but this is an approach I would take. Make all current officers reapply for their jobs right now. Set a standard what an officer is supposed to be, and make every current officer reapply for their jobs.
What should be the standard?
Based off the criteria of now. after you change criteria and make them reapply for their position. We'll probably get back 20% of the officers we had, but it's a start.
I'm gonna say no. I mean, just off the fact that there's basically two Americas. You have white corporate America, and then you have everyone else. I mean, a bad day for me is blowing a tire and being stuck on the side of the road or getting pulled over by the police. A bad day for someone of non-melanated skin is you lost your job, so you went and killed 6 people and got to go home. They came and got you the next day. You went to a protest and killed 2 people but injured 3. You went to a church and sat through the whole sermon,
right,
and killed almost everyone in the congregation and got to go to McDonald's afterwards.
Yeah, Burger King.
Regardless of the fact, I'm gonna say no, because you can't treat me one way and turn around and treat murderers and convicts a whole nother way.
Right.
It's not us doing these mass shootings, but yet it's always our heads on the chopping block.
With policing in the community, it's that the quote unquote good cops, they would have to come out, stand out, and band together and show the nation that here we are, we are the actual good cops that you guys don't see. We are in the communities. We're looking to be within the community. If the police would have the same heart of Sergeant Carol Dorsey that's out in California, if the whole police force would have the same heart as Dr. Delancey Davis, if the whole force would have that mentality, then I think that unity can be achieved, because those folks actually cared for the community. They cared for the people. They lived in the community, so that's why they cared for the community. Like, they had cousins, uncles. These people are they're not cool with seeing someone, go into the wrong apartment and shoot someone and then try to cry and act like, you did it by accident, and then get hugged up on by the judge and all of that, and by the family talking about, we forgive you. Like, what type of crap is that? You know what I'm saying? Like, we need the good cops to come out and not be afraid to testify. But because they're under the pressure of something bigger, which is white supremacy, that white supremacy got them in the hold. And I think it's keeping that, it's creating a schism in between the Black community and police. And I know people may say, well, other races go through the same thing. Yeah, other races may go through the same thing with police. Well, we're not saying that they do, but nobody goes through the type of trauma, the type of brutal treatment, harsh treatment, and no other race has been systemically engulfed in their hate the way that we have, and have been forced to have to cope with this. You know what I'm saying? So in my eyes, I think it could be achieved only and solely if they look at themselves as one with the community. Even though you train and you know the difference between the feel, a taser is going to feel lighter than a gun. You know what I'm saying? So we're talking about fiberglass or plastic versus.
Let me jump in there right quick. I almost cut you off. All right. A mistake is giving me Pepsi when I ordered Coke. What? Just the way that a gun is holstered. All right. A gun is holstered on a policeman's belt like this. There are two different motions. Okay. So to unholster a pistol, you have to pull the pistol up. Whereas with your taser, and this has been established, that they put the gun on their dominant side. If you're right-handed, your gun is going to be on your right side. If your gun is on this side, your taser is on this side. To unholster your taser, you have to pull it away from you. The motions are completely different. So I don't understand how it is that you can get the color, the feel, and the motion all confused with this. That's it. I didn't mean to cut you off. Man.
Nah, you good, brother. You good.
I hit on that. I remember watching the trial of the lady that shot the dude in his crib, and the brother giving her a hug. And I was saying to myself, I said, my man Dave is the most religious person I've ever known growing up. I can't see him doing that in that situation.
Right.
Right? I couldn't picture that. Right. So I knew it didn't really have anything to do with religion.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But as far as policing, I don't think it's really not our problem to fix.
Yeah, it's not. You know? I agree.
How many times do we got to be the victim and fix the problem as the victimizer? I mean, as the victim. You know, like it's not on us to fix it. It really not. So hopefully, you know, we can put enough pressure on them to get it together. But at the end of the day, it ain't our job to fix it.
I agree 110%. I mean, it's a slippery slope. And what I mean is, like, there definitely has to be some type of reform. But where does reform come from? I mean, if we're sitting here telling you what it is we need and you're not listening, we're basically just sitting here screaming at wall. You don't know what's needed in our communities. We're the ones that have to live out here and know what's going on and who shot who and whatever the case may be.
Right. All right.
In order to have some kind of reform, you first have to build trust within the community. And no, that does not go to say, all right, I'm going to go out here and do this little photo op where I'm playing basketball with these kids. We've all seen that.
Right. I just said that, yeah.
You back in that same community, throwing them little kids up against the wall just because the cameras ain't around. Right. So until we can trust you, no, there's not going to be any reform. And that's all I really got to say.
Oh, one thing, just to hit on that, smith for the camera and cameras is around, right? Like, always the definition of a relationship is, it's not how you treat me good with me, it's how you treat me when we ain't good. Right? So, you happy with me right now playing basketball, but what about when I do something that is not okay with? Are we still gonna go play basketball? You know? So, take that into consideration.
A lot of the times we can't, it's hard for us to figure out why are we being treated this way, right? That's the question we ask. Why are they treating us this way? Where they treated the slaves the same way. And then they treated, after slavery, they still treated us the same way. When you have a system that was brought up in racism and it's never been any reform or any revolution to that system, it still exists. It's still here. You know what I'm saying? So as long as they still have in their minds the Dred Scott case, where they say, hey, you know what? The black man has no rights that we have to respect. You don't have any rights that we got to respect. They've thought that before the Civil War, they thought it after. They thought it before the Great Migrations. They thought it after. They've thought it before Breonna Taylor. They still think it after, right? This is the reason why they can kill us, shoot us and our people in cold blood and still step over us, like what they did with Breonna Taylor. All in her apartment, stepping over her as if she was just a blanket on the floor. Like you step over your blanket. They're stepping over one of our black queens on the floor. And so I don't think that even a protest is good enough. You know what I'm saying? After you protest, then what? Fellas, I appreciate y'all, man, you know, hanging out with me one more time. You know what I'm saying? Definitely was a dope discussion.
Definitely, bro. Stay good, y'all. Stay safe. Until next time. I'll let y'all.
Peace.